So I think for actors, it's not a very difficult thing. I find it an interesting journey, but I think my heart really goes out to writers. It's very difficult to write season two of a show.
Sometime in my life, I've checked into a hotel and watched 4 seasons of a show and not moved for 3 days and stayed there because I find that that's an easier thing to do than to watch one episode every night.
Hi guys, this is Ankita. You're tuned into PeepingMoon.com, and today we are here to make you fall out of love for the second time. Again with Meera and Akash, but let's get Purab and Rasika to first tell us how exactly they did fell in love with the second part because I love the first one. So welcome Rasika and welcome Purab.
Thank
You
you.
really fall in love with Akash, Ankita.
Listen, everyone is flawed. Why do you think that we can't do what you have done? Like it's really just mental.
There you go.
I am not.
You're the team Akash person, Meera.
No, she's just being nice to you. She's actually Team Meera. Isn't that true, Ankita?
I swear to God, I stumbled upon Out of Love last month, I guess, randomly. It took me 7 straight hours. By the finishing episode, I was like, I think Mira has lost it. I think Mira has lost it till the last 15 minutes. And then when the tables turn and I'm like, what the? I was not expecting this show to what I started watching it. I will give it to you guys. Because unfortunately, thrillers in our nation are uh, I don't know, maybe not done that way, or maybe they don't get the kind of treatment which we genuinely expect them. So I'll start with you both openly. How did you guys fell in love with Out of Love per se? And then how did the season two even happen in the first place?
There are so many reasons to fall in out of love. One of the main reasons, and I think Purab might agree with me, is that it's shot in Ooty and Kunur. It is just too beautiful. And it is so gorgeous that you cannot say no to a show which is set there. And I think this time around, particularly, I appreciated the beauty of it even more because it was after 7 months of being locked down in Bombay. And I think it was a relief of, and it really gave me a lot to as an actor to work with. It's such a beautiful place. It really puts you in a different headspace and really opens you up in many different ways. So that I think is one of the main reasons. For me at that time when season one came, I was really looking for an opportunity to be a part of the show in which uh, the character I'm playing is sort of driving the narrative. And this is a very author-backed role. Dr. Meera Kapoor is a very author-backed role, and I was very excited to grab it with everything I had. And also, it's a very character-driven script. So, and I'd seen the original; it was beautifully done. So there's no reason to not do it, and many reasons to do it. So
Pura, why did you decide to fall out of love again?
So when many years ago, when I live in England, and when I moved here, I was meeting people over here, and I met some agents over here, and I was told by one agent that if you want to see some really good British content that has come out recently, watch this show called Dr. Foster, and that's when I saw Dr. Foster, the original show that Out of Love is made from, and then cut to. Few years later, I get called by the BBC and they said, we are remaking Dr. Foster and we want you to play Simon Foster. So I'd seen the show. So I think the first attraction for me was not the character, because the character, character I didn't really like to play. But I think the first attraction for me was the fact that it was a show that I really enjoyed seeing, and the brilliance of the writing and the treatment of the show. So that was my first question that I asked on the phone. Was I remember asking the creative person from BBC who called me. I said, "Are you going to treat it the same way how the original is treated, or are you going to treat it, in a melodramatic way? Because it can be also that." And she said, "No, it's going to stick quite close to the original adaptation. It's going to be an adaptation quite close to the original." So that was definitely the first attraction for me. And then of course there were other things that came along the way. There was Tishu, someone I wanted to work with, and he was directing the first part of the first season. At that point of time, I don't know if Ejaz was in or not yet locked in, so I didn't know if he was doing it or not. Um, Rasika was a part of the show, so that was a big attraction. Rasika and me have been on projects together, but we've never really worked together. We had POW, which is one long-standing project where we both had prominent roles in, and but
Manto.
we yeah, but Manto, you had a far more prominent role than I
Yeah.
had. In this 10 Love also that way, you were in 10 Love, right? No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
had a small part.
So yeah, so that's what I'm saying. There's no and also POW is the only one where we both had prominent roles and uh, but we didn't have any scenes. There's literally one scene
Two
that we
scenes
were
or something.
yeah, and that too we were not interacting with each other. I'm
Each
somewhere at
other.
the back and she was in the scene. The scene was with her and Satyadeep Mishra. So I was looking forward to have because I know she's a great actor. I know Rasika before even she became a screen actor. She was a acting student at that point of time with my cousin studying in FTI, and I think the first time I saw her in properly in a project was in a film she did called Kissa, which was she was superb in the film and the film was superb. So I was looking forward to working with her. So she was a big attraction. And then as she's pointed out, I'm always looking for projects that are out of cities and in nature and in places that are beautiful. So Kunur, Ooty, perfect setting to be in.
Kunuruti, I think, had my heart by the time it finished. And it even excited me more when I saw the trailer that we are back to Kunuruti only. No one is heading to Delhi or Bombay to search for each other. You are coming back. But
Yeah, I think
Rasika, I want
by the first with the first season, I think the creators also realized that Kunur was such a important part of the first season. And such a strong character by itself. It builds so much it adds so much as a background to all the characters. Also it contributes to the clothes that we are wearing or the way our skin looks. That weather also impacts
Yeah.
that. So um, I think it's a big silent sort of important character that's there in the show.
I'll agree with you because the background of a quiet place and what all is happening in your life, the havoc which is creating bit by bit, that's a
Yeah,
beautiful contrast which
yeah,
goes together.
yeah.
Uh, Rasika and Purab, normally when there are the two strong emotions we always talk about, love and hate. And while when we are started out of love, that's what my observation. It was maybe falling out of love as we per se, and what follows. And when season two trailer hit, the hate is simmering. I mean, Akash, I don't know what he's looking for, but he's definitely not going to let it be easy for Mira. And I just loved it because normally, and it is a question I have asked many people in the past as well. When we see the second season trailer or the second seasons, because you just have done a very successful one, Rasika, with Mirzapur. It's not easy. It's not easy to from where you left and to start and to keep audience captivated. What about you two? How do you feel about it? And especially the emotion of hate. I really want to talk about it. You guys, it was screaming through the screens. We hate each other. Come on, bring it on.
I think for actors, I personally enjoyed the journey of season two. It comes with a certain degree of comfort, of sort of knowing the framework of where the story is set, and a little bit with comes with a familiarity with your character, even though they might have completely changed and be behaving in a very different way in this season. So I think for actors, it's not a very difficult thing. I find it an interesting journey, but I think my heart really goes out to writers. It's very difficult to write season two of a show because uh, mostly you've written season one in which the stakes have been so high that you don't know where to take these characters or what you can do with them in a subsequent season. I think writing for a subsequent season is very, very hard for writers, and my heart always goes out to them. I think Mirzapur did a fantastic job, and I think I hope you like what you've done with Out of Love too.
Purab, you tell me, I'll twist the question for you a bit. The emotion of hate, especially with it's simmering through Akash. Like you open the trailer and he's back. And the look on your face when you walk into the office is like, girl, you're gone. Like, let's call it. I loved it. How difficult it is to bring hate to the screen. because love is one of the most common emotions which we start and see, and all sweetness, but bringing that kind of hate, and to let someone hate you, even the audience have to hate you. How do you work on that?
I think uh, I think hate is generally an emotion that is actually derived from love, and you hate somebody because maybe, I mean, in some way it's connected. We can go into a whole discussion on explaining of how it's connected, but I think somewhere hate and love go with each other. They're opposites of each other, but they also go with each other. And uh, I think on the surface, it may seem like hate, and these two characters, and they say it, there's a line also where Akash says to Meera, and she says also back that I hate you, I hate you. But I think these characters are so layered, and their graphs are, and they go through so much with each other, such intense emotions with each other that uh, on the surface it's hate, but I think inside it's bubbling and many things are being thrown up. It's just a whole amalgamation of lots of emotion that's just erupting between these two. Uh, it's sexual, it's hatred, it's intense, it's love, it's jealousy, it's a lot of things that are just sort of like a mishmash that's happening. And I think through these episodes of season 2 you'll see it all bubble out. You'll see it all bubble out at different times. Um, and because it's told in this thriller kind of format, and because the bar of the intensity is being set in the trailer, and that carries forth through the series. I think it all just spits out at different times. And the writing and the director Oni have very interestingly used these bubbling points and as plot points in the show, and sort of take the audience with these characters and their graphs that they are going through. So yeah, it's very exciting. And for an actor to answer your question, I think for an actor to portray any of those emotions, may it be the surface hate or may it be anything else that they're feeling inside of them, and I think the writing contributes a lot to that. And you always ask the question when you're, I mean, for me at least, when I'm an actor, I always ask the question, okay, this is what I'm doing and this is what the writer wants me to do, but what am I feeling additionally inside while doing something? So you're constantly questioning everything that the character might be feeling, uh, and and everything is not so direct sometimes, especially with characters like Akarsh and Meera. They are far more complex than what you see on the surface. There's a lot of paddling going on, like the ducks in the pond. Under the pond their feet are paddling something else, but on the face they seem quite calm and composed. So, but here, of course, they're not calm and composed. That's strong reference to give the ducks, but definitely there's a lot going on within these characters inside than what you just see on the surface.
Because Meera managed to did scare me. I will not lie. Like if we talk about how we end up hating Akash, Meera's character did scare me. There were points where I thought she has completely lost it. Like, what is she even doing? Is it even real? And
That
then
was in
she
the first
bounces
season
back.
only. The end of the first season, you saw that.
Yeah, I'm like, that is what, and
Poor
that was
Akarsh, I
the
thought
high
by the end
point
of
for
the
me.
first season, I thought poor Akarsh, yeah, bichara.
You identified it correctly, Purab. You identified it correctly. She's full team Akarsh.
I,
She's fully team
I am
Akash.
I am not supporting Purim. I was just coming to the point that what I really loved was, Meera, you actually managed to scare me. I genuinely thought when I was watching the show, I will not take it away. By the time the episode was coming to an end in the last 15 minutes, I swear to God, I thought, is it even a thriller? Are they actually going to throw us some another kind of curveball? And Meera turns out to be the psychopath who has lost
Thanks.
the marbles. I think for that particular scene, I would say that that's how Out of Love stayed with me, because as I said, thrillers in India, we just try to somehow give them too much of melodramatic touch, and थोड़ा ज़्यादा Indianize हो जाता है, that we just completely let the flow go. I think all the episodes, and I'm hoping the season 2 also, you go always leave us on a cliffhanger, and I'm perfectly fine. Even in the season 2, I think by every episode end, I'll be thinking, "Ab kya karenge ye dono?" Because you guys are capable of doing everything extreme. There was nothing normal going on in your life at all.
Correct. We are quite dysfunctional. And we've lived our dysfunctionality to its hilt in season 2.
Oh God. I think I'll definitely look for that. Uh, Rasika and Purav, there is another very weird conversation these days which we are having, like on web suddenly why we have lovely content, and I personally love the fact that we get 8 hours to invest in someone and to know exactly why that person is behaving this way. Many people are accusing that web has suddenly become a dumpster point of view, like anything and everything which doesn't work, people just come and put it out on web and you know let it be. Just as actors, because who are prominent faces on web at the moment, how do you think audience can distinguish between what they can and cannot watch? Because this is happening. I am not going to lie. People are actually dumping a lot of things on web which are not. That was not the reputation of OTT. OTT was meant to be with this one exclusive platform where we were away from those, I would say, the evil clutches per se.
I
I've
think you
always
choose your
looked at
brand,
the
right? You choose your brand really. I mean, for me, I'm finding myself to that also. Choose the brand of OTT platform you want to be on, or you want to watch, and you want to pay a it's subscription. It's all subscription based, so you can choose where you want to be, and you can choose what shows you want to watch. So often I start a series or I start a film also, and I put it off in 10 minutes because I'm not getting into it. It's not something that I want to watch. So
Exactly.
yeah, because when you watch a series specifically, it's a big investment, and I'm a binge watcher like you, Ankita. I'm a binge watcher, so if I get start watching something, I can't stop. I mean, in some time in my life, I've checked into a hotel and watched 4 seasons of a show, and not for 3 days, and stayed there because I find that that's an easier thing to do than to watch one episode every night. So I've done that. I've actually checked into a hotel and watched a series, all 4 seasons of it, because I'd missed out on it and I wanted to catch up. So uh, uh, it's a big time commitment, and especially today's time day and age when there's so much of entertainment available, you have to just pick and choose really, and see what you want to watch, and you can't and this, I think it's just your own choice really, and it changes. You evolve as an audience also. Sometimes you like something and then you see something that throws you off. It's not the usual, because many times people are looking for something new, something different, and then that builds your interests in other things, and you want to watch more of the same space in the same space. So you grow as an audience also with new things that you watch.
You agree, Rasika, because you are technically, you're parallelly on both the platforms. You have your films often lined up, then there is OTT also, and we have seen a couple of films coming back to OTT as well. Do you feel the same way? Because there are certain actors who are genuinely feeling that suddenly we are treating OTT as this one platform. We are just throwing everything which we can't otherwise find a way to put out.
I feel that any space is healthy if it's sort of free. And I feel that if there's a variety of content in terms of who am I to judge what is good or bad, right? I mean, exclusivity comes with a certain judgment that this should be allowed to be here because I think it's good, and I think that it's great that the OTT space is not like that. That there's room for all sorts of things. So supposing you, there might be something that you might like which might not meet my standards, or I might like it. It might not meet your standards. If be- what I like about this space is that all of this can be there, and I still have a choice, right? I'm not buying a ticket to a certain film, and because of that film being there, another film is not there. That's not the case, right? With OTT, you can have all sorts of content lying around, and people can access it as and when they want to. Go back to it, not go back to it, switch it off, like Purab said, and you can exercise your own quality control. Who am I to say that this is too much clutter and this show should be in some this show is good and therefore it should be there, and another show might not be there? Not at all. I think that other people might like it, I might not like it, right? So this is by definition a space which allows for multiple sorts of content to coexist, and I think we should sort of celebrate that. Of course it leads to clutter, and it might be mildly annoying when you're looking through things that are ye kya hai? I have to go through 10 things to reach the 11th one which I like. But that's a small price to pay for having variety and having something for everybody to watch.
Lovely. I'm just hoping that by the time season 2 ends and the next time we definitely meet you, because I will be okay to have a season 3. I really want to see where you guys take us. I'm excited. And I think this was probably one of the few shows I sat with my mother and watched, and she's like, ये से कैसे कर सकते हैं? I'm like, ऐसे हो रहा है. So you
I think
managed to shock her.
I think the interesting thing about Out of Love is that, it sort of really, because when things happen in some people's lives, such as adultery or cheating, or you want to seek revenge from somebody, um, uh, people are always sort of, they would like to do what Dr. Meera Kapoor did to Akarsh in season 1, but they can't do it, or they stay away from it. So
Aspirational
seeing
recklessness.
someone do it, there's a great joy in feeling like you lived that person's life, and I think that's
Vicariously.
what the great thing about Out of Love is. It really takes you down that path, saying, okay, you couldn't do it, but here's someone who's doing it. Enjoy seeing her do it, and going to that extent of what Meera does, and now what Akash does to Meera and Meera does back to him.
So I am waiting. I'm coming back to Rasika. See, I'm not supporting, but I would like to see now what Akash does, because Meera has done a lot. Now it's Akash's turn to do it.
Well, this is, if you think Meera's done a lot, you'll be
You will scare
surprised.
us again. I swear to God. But thank you guys. Thank you. I cannot wait for
Thank you,
my
Meera.
next 7 hours of binge. I loved it, and I know people out there are definitely going to love this one. Thank you for the great content. Thank you.
I
Thank
hope you
you.
enjoy it. Stay safe.
Stay safe.
Yes, you too.